Hi everyone, Namaste. This is Anjali Kocher. Welcome back to my channel Tookwings by Anjali Kocher. So today in the episode of Kahaniyaan in our podcast, we spoke with Mr. Jaison Mathew, who is currently the CEO of Christel House. I'm going to briefly tell you why this podcast is important for everyone to, watch, to listen to. So I tell you what, so in the before starting the conversation, I was of the idea that we are going to talk about education in general, and we are going to make this podcast about education and parenting and how things are changing in the field of education. But I couldn't stop myself but to continue talking about Crystal House, how this organization, this non-profit organization, is helping underserved children, helping them not just with their education but with their meals, with their helping their family as well, helping the entire communities as well. And how children who start from kindergarten and then get on to become professionals in several sectors, be it in IT sector, be it in corporate sector, be it in music or sports, or we shared so many stories of how Crystal House is changing the lives of underprivileged children out there. And why this is important for you guys to listen to is because we need to understand that they are not just going to do it alone, they also need support. And I'm telling you honestly, this is not a paid podcast or a paid promotion, but this is just coming from my heart, that if you're watching to this podcast, do check out their programs, volunteering programs. And I also asked Jaison about how can I volunteer, how can I help the students with my knowledge, with my value, what value can I provide in the lives of the underserved children. So you can also do that. You can also volunteer, helping the children. You can also, if you are looking for some financial support, you can also do that. You can go online. Jaison has spoken about it in the podcast as well, and we'll put up the information in the description box as well. But this is so important. Every child deserves education, and not just education, but to come out of poverty, to come out, to make their family come out of the poverty, to break that cycle of poverty. And we don't need to wait for 3 4 cycles or 3 4 generations to break that cycle. We can do it immediately if every each one of us contribute to the cause of education for all. So yeah, that's it from my side. Definitely do watch the podcast till the end, because it is very, informative, and you'll understand how can you volunteer, how can you support. And if you know any underserved children in Bangalore, in Raipur, they're also coming up in Pune and Bombay soon. But right now, if you know anyone in Bangalore or Raipur, you can definitely write to them about them. Okay, so watch the podcast. Thank you so much. Hi, Jaison. Welcome to Kahaniyaan by Tookwings. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Anjali, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure meeting you and also talking with you. Thank you.
Pleasure is all mine. So, going forward, we are going to talk about everything around how education is changing or evolving these days. I mean, because a lot of parents are really worried about where the education system is right now going. So, what are the new things that children need to adopt, and technology that is coming up. So we are going to talk about all that. But before that, at Kahania, we have this tradition that we start the podcast with one story that defines you, or that is something you would really like to share with all of us.
Thank you, Anjali. You know, when you work with Crystal House or when you are associated with Crystal House, you have hundreds of stories. That is kind of a defining moment for you.
Hmm.
I can tell you a few things, I mean, before we get into what we do and how we do things. But uh, uh, Crystal House is a non-profit organization that works with children
Hmm.
from uh, very deprived backgrounds, the families, communities that kind of face challenges and neglect come from some of the most underserved communities in India.
Hmm.
And as you know, the most underserved communities, especially children, come with a lot of challenges and baggages, and they need a lot of support to kind of get the opportunity. And we provide that opportunity through education and a holistic approach. So it's not just about education. It is also about. It's not about just about academic outcomes, but it's also about life outcomes. We want
Hmm.
everyone to be successful. So that's in a nutshell that we do. But
Hmm.
stories, you know, especially when you work with the communities that's facing challenges, especially children, hundreds of stories. I'll tell you, probably I'll give you a couple of examples or a couple of stories. Many years ago, Christel House is a 24-year-old organization in India. Many years ago, when we initially started in Bangalore, maybe second week of we started in 2001, a boy, actually a young boy of 6-year-old young boy in grade one, he folded a chapati and put it in his pocket during lunchtime. So, so we asked, some of us walked up to him and asked, "What are you doing? Because this is lunchtime and this is for you to eat." So he said, young boy, 6 years, all of 6 years, he said, "See, look, my younger sister, last few days I've been going back home and talking about the kind of food that we are getting in school. And I was explaining this thing, he couldn't even say what if it is a chapati or what it is. He says, I just like this. And I was explaining to my younger sister, who generally gets one meal a day. So she said, can you get one for me?
Hmm.
Um, so we said, well, we please take it back home. And we gave him another chapati for him to eat. So that talks about the importance of what we do and how we
Right.
do it, right? So with 1.4 billion people in India, we need a lot more crystal houses and a lot more interventions that actually needed to pull people out of the challenges that they are facing and give them the opportunity. Another example of a girl comes from urban slums. Her father passed away at the age of 2. This is a story of Varalakshmi. She joined Crystal House at the age of 5 in kindergarten. Um, very academically oriented, committed student child, uh, brought up by a single mother. Now the
Hmm.
father passed away and a single mother. So the mother, due to certain financial issues, how people in the communities they have severe financial stress. She has taken some loan for some personal health treatment, and then she could not pay it, and then she actually committed suicide when she was in grade 9. So all of a sudden, and she was actually witnessing some of those as a child. So all of a sudden, this 13-year-old or 14-year-old girl become orphan. Uh, and at that age in the community, a lot of people wanted to take the ownership of the girl for whatever reasons. But
Hmm.
we knew the safety is so important and for the continuity of the girl's education. So we worked with a hostel. We put her in a hostel. We paid her fees and we ensured that we gave her the kind of counseling that is needed for her because she was completely traumatized. And one fine day you becoming orphan is not an easy, and also you see some very challenging visuals of her mother, right? So we had to put her through an intensive counseling program. She continued in this, her education. She passed out of grade 10 and grade 12 in high marks. She went on to join one of the prestigious universities called Kriya University just outside Chennai. Uh,
Hmm.
on a full scholarship. She did her BA. She completed her BA honors, and now she is working with a non-profit organization that works in empowering rural girls with STEM. She's a
Hmm.
project manager, and she's self-sufficient.
Hmm.
So, these are some of the stories I could say. There are hundreds of such such stories. 99% of our students have these kind of stories where the challenges they overcome challenges through proper support and opportunity, and they are successful in life. And they, it's not just about themselves; it's about their families as well. So this is some of the stories. I can go on and on about these kind of stories. And there are girls come up and say, after they get a job, they say, "See, look, my parents are putting pressure on me to get married, but I just want to work for a couple of more years, earn a little more money in my savings account before I get married. Can you please counsel our parents, my parents?" So we do that. So so we do a lot of such things, and we have a lot of encouraging, life-defining stories and moments in our lives.
Right. So, but what is your, personal association with Crystal House? Is it coming from something of your own experiences, or how are you closely associated with this cause? I will ask.
Anjali, this is my 23rd year with Crystal House.
Hmm.
I have joined Crystal House almost since inception. Uh, my association with Crystal House was purely accidental.
Hmm.
To say, 24 years ago, I was working in a chartered accountant firm. I was practicing, and then my firm was consulted to set up some of the tax-related advices and services in early on. As far as Crystal House is, it's formed in 2000, year 2000, and we started the school in 2001.
Hmm.
So my firm, my accountancy firm, was contracted for some consultancy in early 2001, and Crystal House was my client. I was
Hmm.
providing advisory services on internal control, setting up processes, because Crystal House believed in utmost transparency, accountability. Coming from the nonprofit sector, it wanted to be a game changer in the industry. So
Hmm.
it believed in internal control processes, transparency, and accountability, and especially the founder of the organization, Ms. Crystal Dehan, she strongly felt that the financial transparency and accountability should come forward than anything else, first of all. So it wanted to create a strong system. So I was consulting, with the organization for about a year until about the end of 2001, and then they offered me a job saying that we are looking for a CFO. Why don't you join? We really liked your work. I
Hmm.
said, no, it's too early in my career. And I 3 or 4 times I said no to it. And finally, I said I was just coming out of practice and I wanted to join industry. That's the
Hmm.
time Bangalore is coming up, early 2000, right? Bangalore is coming up as a tech capital. A lot of multinational companies were setting up their companies in Bangalore, their offices in Bangalore. So I started, probably, planning to quit practice and join industry. And I told Crystal House, I met Crystal Dehan a couple of times, the founder.
Hmm.
Her passion for to care, to share, to make a difference. That was her motto in life. So she has all, she had a lot of wealth, but she decided to share that wealth with the people who actually do not have the opportunity. And she
Hmm.
came to my country, in India, and she said, "I'm ready to help people in India. But I need good people to come and work with me." So that motivated me to come join for 1 year. I started my stint with Crystal House in 2001 for on a 1 year contract, saying that I will set up everything, for the organization, and then I move on. But that 1 year, tenure has become, 23 years or even 24 years now. I closely got associated with children, and I realized probably this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. For two reasons. One is the vision and the grit of our founder really moved me, and her philosophy and the way she wanted to do things differently in the nonprofit sector, that moved me. The second is that I got the opportunity to see, transformation happening before me, uh, day in and day out, because I started working with the children. So these two things actually motivated, and I walked up to Crystal and said, "Well, I would like to continue not just for 1 year, but rest of my, probably for a long term." So,
Hmm.
that's my association with Crystal House. For almost 14 years, I worked in different roles before I took over as the CEO of Crystal House 9 years ago. It's a it is a I would also say that this is a story of transformation for myself,
Hmm.
because I was not planning or intending to join a non-profit, even if I had joined probably a year or two and then wanted to move on.
Hmm.
But something, right? Something, hit me, and I said, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life." And I'm so happy that I decided, 23 years ago that I joined this organization. This organization has given me so much satisfaction and joy in my life.
Hmm.
So the work that I do, I really love.
Hmm.
24/7, 365 days work for me.
Amazing. So, for everyone to understand better, how is the procedure like? I mean, can anyone be the part of Crystal House, any student, or how does the system work there? Can you explain on that?
Sure. Very briefly, what do we do? We actually, our organization is different in many ways. We
Hmm.
talk about transparency and accountability for all our financial transactions. So we are very high on compliances. We are very high on transparency. We are very high on accountability. We actually tell all our donors, existing and prospective donors and supporters, to walk into our office without prior notice, any given time, and inspect our books of accounts. So, that's the level of transparency and accountability, financial transparency and accountability we are talking about. What about the project, the school that we run? Again, we encourage our supporters to come visit, volunteer their time, interact with the children, the parents. What do we understand? What do we do? And help us. In terms of improving what we do. So it's all about transparency and accountability and outcomes that we are doing, whether it is financial transaction or the project, the school that we do. Now, how do we select children, or how do we get into? So we primarily work with children from urban slums in Bangalore.
Okay.
Our school in Bangalore is 24-year-old school. We only cater to children from urban slums in and around Bangalore, around 30-kilometer radius of the school. We have a second school in Raipur, Chhattisgarh, just outside the city of Raipur, the capital of Chhattisgarh, where we serve severely poor villagers. So we have a school set up there. We cater to while the teachers come from the Raipur city, to ensure the quality of the teaching staff. The students are right outside the villages, very poor villages, right outside Raipur city. So we work with these communities. We call them communities. We don't use the word
Hmm.
all the communities. So we work with these communities through a lot of programs, and they are now we've been working for years in the communities. Everybody in the communities know Crystal House, so they come to Crystal House during the admission process. They apply. We in Bangalore we take 105 children at the age of 5 in kindergarten. That's the
Hmm.
only that's the only entry level at the age of 5 in kindergarten. So we get thousands of applications for admission. We know everybody who applies deserves a seat or a chance or an opportunity. But we can only take 105 children every year in Bangalore and around 70 kids in kindergarten in Raipur. That's our intake. Uh, and so what we do is that we look at the living conditions.
Hmm.
We should have some way of selecting this 105 in Bangalore and 70 in Raipur, when we know that everybody uh,
Right.
deserves a seat. So we look at the living conditions. What's the size of the room? How many people live in that room? Do they have a gas connection? Do they have a bicycle? Do they have a mobile connections? Basically, the living conditions. Do they have access to running water? Do they have access to a toilet facility or a shared toilet facility? So, do they have a proper roof for their house, or is it a thatched roof? So we do look at all those living conditions, and we kind of make a note of it. Our social workers go visit these homes based on the applications multiple times, and see
Okay.
the living conditions. And we have an admission committee that comprising of 10 people. And then they review these files along with some of the photographs that they take. And then they say the majority in the admission committee has to say that's the child who deserves a seat at Crystal House. So it's a
Hmm.
completely democratic and a robust process of admission. I cannot recommend a child. The child
Hmm.
has to go through the process, and the majority in the admission committee say, based on the living conditions, that's the child that has to. We do not screen for the ability, the talent of the child. We only screen for the poverty. We want the poorest of the poor to get into Crystal House. So what that means that almost 25 to 30% of our children come with learning difficulties because we
Hmm.
don't test for learning ability at the time of admission. So we have special educators, we have interventionists, we don't abandon them. We take them along. Some kids need a slower pace, some kids can go at this normal pace of education, but
Hmm.
we provide them with whatever their pace of education, whatever the way they can. Some kids can learn much faster visually than some kids can learn much faster, in other mode of learning. So we integrate all that. You
Hmm.
asked me a little earlier, the newest way of teaching and learning. Some of
Hmm.
these are experimental way of teaching and learning, and we find it extremely, helpful, especially for children from underserved communities, right?
Hmm.
They need more help. And there is no one size fits for all solution for children that we serve. So, they need multiple ways of interventions and much deeper intervention. So that's what we do. That's how the kids get admission into Crystal House. And
And
uh, yeah, there are three pillars to our program: the
hmm.
child, the family, and the community.
Okay.
It is not just about education. Crystal House is not at all about education alone. Crystal House is how do we complete the circle and break the cycle of poverty. And we know that just by providing education to a few kids is that's not going to help. So we work with the families because we have to address the root cause of some of the challenges that the
Hmm.
kids face. Imagine a hungry kid that we provide a best quality education. When the child is hungry, he or she cannot concentrate or attend the class.
Hmm.
So we have to provide them with nutritious meals, and we do that. Breakfast, lunch. Before they leave, glass of milk and evening snacks at 4 o'clock. So they
Hmm.
get two full meals and a snack in the evening. 80 to 85% of their nutrition requirement is taken care of while in school. And we
Hmm.
know that every child of Crystal House, from 0 to 5 years old, they have missed a lot of developmental milestones because they never had the access to nutritional food, in those very critical early stage, developmental stage, 0 to 5 years. They come to us at the age of 5. So when they come with a lot of health challenges. Through our nutrition program, they pick up much of it and they grow faster. Now we also know that if the child comes as equal as the nutritional meals, if the child has a lot of emotional baggage, the child
Hmm.
concentrated in education. And all our kids come with an emotional baggage because they are generally subject to abuse in the communities. Uh,
Hmm.
Parents' financial stress is often passed on to the children, especially girls. If you have one meal for one person, that goes to the boys, not for the girls.
Hmm.
So the girls go through a whole lot of different challenges, so that we ensure that the girls get the equal opportunity in our school. So anyway, that's a different point. So the mental health and wellness is so important to us. So we have three qualified counselors in our Bangalore school and three qualified counselors in our Atal Nagar school. So we provide complete counseling support for the children and their families. And we know that we have to fix the root cause in families or in the communities. So we counsel based on the feedback that we receive from the children. We counsel the parents to ensure that those issues, even not only the parents, but the people living in the communities. Most often, their mental stress come from, especially for girls, people living in the community. So we actually get into those kind of counseling for the entire community. We also know that they have a lot of health issues. So they
Hmm.
need to get access to good quality healthcare, medical care. So we tie up with hospitals and they just show the Crystal House ID. They get treated with our partner hospitals and the hospitals bill us for the treatment. Whatever treatment and surgeries, hospitalization, whatever treatment, uh, the doctors do not charge their consultation as part of their contribution to society. The hospitals only charge for consumables, medicines, and surgeries. So it's discounted, heavily discounted from the hospitals as well. But everybody, every Crystal House student, as long as they are with us, they get the medical treatment. So we are talking about the nutritious meals. We are talking about the emotional, social, and emotional health, and we are
Hmm.
talking about the physical well-being through medical support. So these three important aspects are very important aspect. And the fourth aspect is the community. When our kids go back, this is not a day, this is not a boarding school, right? That we pick them up in the morning from the communities. We provide them transportation and we drop them back in the evening. When they get back in the communities, it's a different world. In school, it's a very safe environment. They don't want to go back home.
Hmm.
They don't want long breaks during summer. Every school gives 2 months, 2.5 months of holidays, but we only give 1 month because our kids say, no, we want to come back to school.
Hmm.
Only give 1 month holidays during summer, so we work for nearly 245, 250 working days a year, where other schools work for 180 to 200 working days. So anyway,
Hmm.
so what I'm saying is that when they get back home, they see their peers, their friends, either not going to school uh,
Hmm.
and roaming around with whatever the cool acts that they do in the communities, right? So they get tempted, they get attracted towards a lot of delinquencies. So what do we do? How do we address that problem? So we then work on the community outreach programs. We know that we can't do it all alone. So we partner with like-minded non-profits, NGOs working in the field of HIV/AIDS, family planning, health and hygiene, financial literacy, de-addiction programs. It's a big, big, big problem in
Hmm.
addictions to alcohol and substance. So we awareness programs and de-addiction programs we ensure. Skill building. Typically, a parent, a father of a Crystal House child is a construction laborer, a mother is probably a housemaid.
Hmm.
Now, if it rains, they don't have work, or 30 days a month, probably they may get 15 days work,
Hmm.
uh, and much of the money that goes towards like to private money lenders or substance abuse or alcoholism or whatever.
Hmm.
So what we do is that we also empower our mothers and fathers also. We work with some of the facility maintenance companies where they need carpenters, where they need electricians, where they need security guards in big offices and complexes. Uh, we then facilitate recruitment drive for our people living in the community where we work, not just
Hmm.
our parents, but people living in the community. So yesterday they were in the informal sector without knowing whether they have a job, daily wage tomorrow. From there, suddenly they become formal sector employees. At the end of the month, they can expect a fixed amount of salary that is going into their bank account with PF and ESI. So from informal sector to formal sector, our parents, they get trained and they are placed on jobs. Mothers, we do a lot of skill building process, candle making, tailoring, uh,
Hmm.
and then we either connect them with garment factories so that they get employment, or there are NGOs giving tailoring machines free of cost. So we actually then facilitate such contributions from those NGOs, so our mothers get trained and then get a tailoring machine. So sit at home and then they can earn money. From being a housemaid, they became suddenly entrepreneurs, right?
Hmm.
Their own business. So we do a lot of such community empowerment program, so that we create an ecosystem. When our kids go back home, we create an ecosystem that is
Hmm.
more conducive and supportive of our kids, but at the same time, the families and the communities benefit immensely from our intervention.
Hmm.
Their own life, access to quality life, that's what we are trying to get for the people living in the communities. So we also enroll them for Ayushman Bharat, insurance scheme. There are a lot of welfare schemes from the central government,
Hmm.
and the state governments, which they are either unaware of it or they
Hmm.
don't have the documents.
Hmm.
We work with the government officials. We facilitate enrollment drives so that they have access to medical insurance up to 5 lakhs rupees, and the beautiful schemes of building houses. The government of India, along with the state government, gives X amount for building houses, right?
Hmm.
Of course. So we kind of facilitate a whole lot of stuff. So we want the people living in the communities we work with have a much better life.
Hmm.
Living conditions and access to healthcare with the help of government officials and government schemes and all that. But somebody has to take lead in doing that, right? Because they're completely unaware of it. So it's not just about the child, it's about the family and the community. And that's the only way we can break the cycle of poverty for themselves. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's a much larger and deeper project. And Anjali, what we do is that when we take a child at the age of 5, we work
Hmm.
with each and every child and family for 18 years. That
Hmm.
is from the age of 5 in kindergarten till 1 year at work at the age
Hmm.
of 23. Kindergarten to grade 12, we have our own schools. After
Hmm.
grade 12, every Crystal House child goes to a university or to a college. We pay their fees. We continue to provide them with counseling, mental health and mental and emotional health support, academic support.
Hmm.
Pay their fees and career support. And first job, we ensure that everybody gets the first job through
Hmm.
through campus recruitment, and we help them transition from from a student to a first time employee in their families, first time formal sector employee in
Hmm.
a big corporate, and 1 year at work, we help them to transition, complete that transition, 18 years. That is one of the most unique and differentiating factors of factor of Crystal House when compared
Hmm.
to other NGOs.
No, that's amazing. So right now this is in Bangalore and Raipur, you mentioned
Two schools.
two
Our
schools.
Bangalore school has currently over 1,000 children from kindergarten to grade 12, and about 300 plus students in colleges that we are supporting. Our Raipur Atal Nagar school has close to 900 students at the moment. These are the two schools, but we have almost 1,500 students graduated and now working with companies like KPMG, EY, Amazon,
Hmm.
Google, Infosys, Wipro, Mercedes-Benz, government of Karnataka,
Hmm.
in India, in Europe, in Middle East. So see the transformation. Actually, it's not just about talent, right? Everybody has talent. It is about opportunity.
Right.
If kids from underserved communities, they don't get the opportunity.
Hmm.
We give that opportunity and they grab it with both hands and they make the best use of the opportunity. And it's not just for themselves, it is for their families as well. So they
Absolutely.
break the cycle of poverty in a year's time. They take the entire family out of the communities that they've been living for years, generations, to a
Hmm.
middle class neighborhood. They rent an apartment, or they buy an apartment, because if they're working in big companies, they get access to home loans. They
Hmm.
buy an apartment, so they move on. So we ensure the economic and social, mobility, the intergenerational economic and social mobility, and that's when we look at, we are successful. And the most important aspect of our program is uh, what is success to me. If I look at it, or somebody asks me what's success looks like to you, uh, I would say success doesn't resonate with me if the child has just been a great employee or a
Hmm.
well-educated person
Hmm.
in a big company earning lakhs of rupees, but
Hmm.
not socially committed.
Right.
We want each and every student of Crystal House, while
Hmm.
they are well-educated, they should be socially committed. They are
Hmm.
good citizen to the country, to the community, to the family. So we
Hmm.
citizenship program, character development program, and value education program
Hmm.
built inbuilt into our curriculum, just like English, physics, or maths. We
Hmm.
have, we have character development, we have value education, we have citizenship learning.
And other activities, other physical activities or anything like that?
It is comparable to any international school. All activities. We know that all our kids won't be engineers and doctors and lawyers, right? We have musicians, we have sports personalities,
Hmm.
we have artists. You walk into Crystal House, what you see is an amazing story.
Hmm.
Where you will see classrooms are not a place for kids to memorize.
Hmm.
We are not, or learn by rote. We are
Hmm.
not in that game. Those were decades old technology, or I mean, or ways and means of teaching and learning. When you walk into Crystal House, even in kindergarten, you will see curious minds. We want the curiosity. We want to bring out the curiosity of the students. We want the creativity in the students. So we put our teachers through a robust training program, because generally we don't want teachers to get offended when students start asking questions, right? We want their students to ask questions, and
Right.
there are a lot of them, right? So we
Hmm.
put our teachers through a robust training program so that we ensure that the students' curiosity is brought out, project-based teaching and learning, experiential-based teaching and learning, curiosity and critical thinking is built in. They lead project, they do research, so leadership, collaboration, all that is brought in from kindergarten itself. So that
Hmm.
we don't be beyond the basics memorization, like in mathematics you have to memorize the tables, right? There's
Hmm.
there's no other way. So those are the essential memorization that you need in teaching and learning, right? You have to remember your alphabets, your digits, your tables. But beyond
Hmm.
that, we don't go with memorization or rote learning.
Hmm.
It's all about learning with understanding. It's about bringing out the curiosity. And the third aspect is building empathy.
Hmm.
So that's what you will see when you walk into a Crystal House classrooms.
Hmm. 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 So, as technology is evolving so much, so do your curriculums also include new things that are coming up, like AI or machine learning or things like that, which are new?
Absolutely. I don't think any schools or even corporates can escape from newer technologies, right? Especially after COVID. There was
Hmm.
a time that schools said no to mobile phones, but after COVID, the school said no, bring mobile phones. But anyway, we are not in that mobile phone game. But I was just giving uh,
Hmm.
a change, a shift in mindset of schools, right?
Hmm.
But technology has become an integral part, and
Hmm.
especially the latest technology, the way the technology is changing, and
Hmm.
AI, with the onset of AI, right? So, Crystal House students start learning technology in kindergarten itself.
Hmm.
Our computer classes, the curriculum is modified every year, updated every year with the help of external experts.
Hmm.
Whether you are an accountant or an engineer or an architect or a doctor, technology is integral part of your job, and we need our kids to be very well versed at a young age with technology.
Hmm.
With the help of external experts in the field, our curriculum on an annual basis reviewed. Our technology curriculum, science, STEM curriculum, basically science and
Hmm.
computer curriculum is upgraded constantly. We partner with our CSR partners like Nokia.
Hmm.
Has just given us a beautiful innovation lab,
Hmm.
CSR partnership, and that's not a computer lab. That's innovation lab. That's a different thing. Computer labs are different, where
Hmm.
you actually learn the fixed curriculum, which is
Hmm.
which is again a robust curriculum. Like I said, we upgrade our curriculum on an annual basis to catch up with the changing technology. But the innovation lab is more like experiment with new ideas, bring out new ideas, experiment. You fail 9 out of 10 times, you will fail. That's fine, but that's a learning in that innovation lab. Even 100 times you try, even one innovation comes up, that's a big deal for Crystal House.
Hmm.
It's not about whether you come out with ultimately a innovative product. It's about you're trying. Your thinking changes when you try. So you're trying to research, you're trying to innovate, you're trying to think differently, and that's exactly what we want. Not about patents, not about innovative patents or not. We want our kids to have the thinking, innovative thinking, and that will help in their lives, in their careers, right? So we have an innovation lab. Our curriculum is constantly updated. We are very ahead, way ahead of many schools in that game, because we want our kids to be up to date with the latest technology for sure.
Absolutely. So, you also mentioned that students working in big companies, MNCs, and then also becoming musicians or sports persons, right? So, can you give us some case studies or any particular examples of how you were able to give wings to their passion and, how they started and what they became?
See, look, there are two ways to look at it.
Hmm.
In India, a child from an underserved community
Hmm.
to become a musician and an artist, or
Hmm.
see, anyone to become a musician, it's a long journey, right? It's a long struggle. Do they have the financial backing? Because
Hmm.
first generation learners, their parents are foregoing an income which
Hmm.
otherwise they would have earned through child labor, right? So they're
Hmm.
foregoing an income that the kids can bring in.
Hmm.
So even if you are the best musician, it might take 10 years of struggle to start earning. But our kids do not have that kind of long
Hmm.
runway to pursue their dream career, though they are capable. So what we do is that we give them that wings in school. They
Hmm.
explore, but at the same time, we tell them you have an academic qualification. You
Hmm.
work because your parents need that money. You can't
Hmm.
you can't push for another 10 years pursuing your music dream. And if it doesn't happen, then you're back to square one. And the parents have, the family needs are very different. So while you start earning, working, you continue to pursue your dream of becoming a musician or an
Hmm.
artist. So, because if you're from a wealthy family, you can afford even after, your parents will still, support you, even if you take 10 years to become a musician or an artist, right? But our kids don't have that luxury. They have to start earning. So what we say is that while we encourage their dreams, and we give them basic skills. If you are a good artist, we give them all the techniques of art. The art is taught scientifically to them, so they have all the basics, all the bases, and they can still pursue the art, while they work and earn and support their family.
Hmm.
Or a musician, they can still go to a form a band, part of a band, and go and play in the weekends, or but they need a week work, right, to support
Hmm.
the band.
Hmm.
We give that technical know-how while they are in school, so that they have the base, but they can pursue that dream. Now that is one way of looking at it. If you look at, we have a girls band, a music band,
Hmm.
all girls band. They play the drums, the guitar, the violin, they write the songs.
Hmm.
Beautiful. We have a choir, which is boys and girls together. We have a girls football team.
Hmm.
Our Christel House girls football team was selected as the best grassroots level football team by Sports Authority of India a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
So one is the girls empowerment. The other is that how do we nurture talent? Our India under 17 goalkeeper was a Crystal House student. Our girls play for, this is the girls I'm talking about, the girls team. Girls play for the district, the state, and some clubs. So, but they still have to pursue a full-time job, because that's not going to give them a lot of money to survive and sustain, right? So
Hmm.
we give the wings to their dreams in a balanced approach. We know
Hmm.
where they come from and the need for start earning. Case points, we can say that, our Raipur school deputy principal is a
Hmm.
Christian graduate. He was an orphan.
Hmm.
He started with Crystal House in grade kindergarten at the age of 5. He completed his grade 12. He went on to become an engineer from one of the best universities, colleges. He joined Crystal House back as a math teacher. Now he is the deputy principal of our Raipur school. I mean, and soon he will be promoted to be a principal. So you
Hmm.
see the transformation. Recently, one of our Crystal House graduates came with a gift check, 1 lakh check, a
Hmm.
donation to Crystal House. He works in Europe, so
Hmm.
he was from a very poor family. So he now recently visited his family in India, and he came up to me and said, "This is a very small, gratitude from my side." That's what he says, and our students, they contribute financially every year. One thing which they do is that they financially contribute to Crystal House. We don't ask for it. And we
Hmm.
said, your family is priority to you. You don't worry about Crystal House. But they say, no, we have to do it. I mean, it's not big money. It's not big money. But
Hmm.
gesture, right? It's a gesture.
Hmm. Hmm.
There are thousands of success stories. 99%, Anjali. When I say 99%, for every 100 students we admit at the age of 5 in kindergarten, 99 of them are like you and me after 18 years.
Hmm.
First generation learners moved on to complete their undergrad degree courses from
Hmm.
universities and working with big MNCs.
Hmm.
9%. And I don't think even the best private schools have that kind of uh,
Hmm.
right? I mean, 99% of them complete
Hmm.
undergrad and informal sector employment.
Hmm.
So, uh, you know, all of them have
Hmm.
these beautiful stories.
No, that's beautiful. This only, makes me think like what would be the scenario like at Crystal House at the schools. I would really want to, know and see how these kids really, yeah, it's really overwhelming for
You
me.
should, you should visit and walk into our school to
Hmm.
experience the magic of Crystal House.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, it is beyond words. I mean, I
Hmm.
don't think I can, even after 24 years of being with Crystal House and leading Crystal House, I can effectively express what happens in our school.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's beyond that.
Amazing. So, are there any plans to have other schools at places in India as well?
We are now very proud and happy to say that we are soon starting a school in Pune, outside Pune. We just signed an MOU with the Pune Zilla Parishad
Hmm.
for a beautiful campus outside Pune city. 12 acres of land and this is a beautiful partnership. This is a beautiful model of a public-private partnership.
Hmm.
The villages donated around 12 acres of land. The villages donated 12 acres of land to
Hmm.
Pune Zilla Parishad. Then we we got Fiat automobiles to invest in building a beautiful school building.
Hmm.
There is architect firm actually doing pro bono work for the entire architecture and supervision of the project. We are now partnering with Pune Zilla Parishad. Pune Zilla Parishad is actually now giving us a 30-year no rent lease agreement to operate that school. Of course, we have to raise money to operate the school.
Hmm.
Uh, but so we would, and that's going to be our largest school. When in full capacity, that school will cater to almost 1,840 students, 1,840 students and families.
Hmm.
uh, you know so that's going to be our largest school. uh, we are also working on some projects in Mumbai. Probably in
Hmm.
the next 3 or 4 weeks we might be able to get a similar arrangement in Mumbai as well, so we can start a school in Mumbai. The Pune school we will open in April 2026. We started the community survey and all those process we have already started. We also started taking more kids in our Bangalore school this year. So we have increased our capacity by 50% in our Bangalore school. So we are doing a little bit of expansion. We want to reach out to more and more children and families.
Hmm.
We are looking at, see, the best way to do this is to partner with government and corporates, right? Uh,
Right.
we have the know-how, we have the experience, we have the passion
Hmm.
to do this, but we can't do it alone. So that's why we are reaching out to the government. because they have the land, and then probably the corporates through CSR they can invest in infrastructure. So we
Hmm.
run it through corporate social responsibility funding. And bring out these fascinating transformation and breaking the cycle of poverty. For us, one child pulling 10 others out of poverty. That,
Hmm.
that's what we are looking at, right? 10 others. And then all their future generation will not be in poverty. So the
Right.
multiplier impact, right?
Hmm.
Generally in a family of our kids, generally 6 to 7 people are in a family.
Hmm.
It is not just the child, it is that 6 or 7 people in the family are pulled out of poverty. And
Hmm.
their future generation will never be in poverty. Because once you break the cycle, you are educated, you will ensure that your future generation will also be educated, right? And so that's the multiplier impact. Generally, they say people living in poverty or underserved communities, they take 3 to 4 generations to break the cycle.
Oh, great.
But with our intervention, in the same generation, they are breaking the cycle of poverty.
Hmm. Right. So for anyone who wants to volunteer or, contribute to Crystal House, how can they do it?
Volunteering, see, we as a not-for-profit organization, we need time, talent, and treasure. I always, these are my three favorite words
Hmm.
of support. We need time. We need time of people who are passionate about societal changes.
Hmm.
That brings in the volunteering aspect. We need a lot of volunteering support. See, because our kids, they don't have role models in life, right? They
Hmm.
think what's happening in movies or what they see in movies is what life, but life is different. Life
Hmm.
is different. So we need role models. We need people from different walks of life to come and talk to our kids and say, why is it important for to grab the opportunity that they have? Well, when millions of kids, they don't have that opportunity. You are so fortunate to have this opportunity. Share
Hmm.
their own personal experiences, how things change for them,
Hmm.
and how different is the world outside. And so we need role models, we need stories, we need inspirations for our kids. So that's where volunteering come in. If you are good in English, you
Hmm.
teach them English. You are good in math, you can teach them math. You're a counselor, you can talk to them about various aspects of that topic. So we need a lot of support, volunteering. Financial support is, it's a completely free school for the children and their parents. When I say free school, we pick them up in the morning, the transportation, morning and evening transportation, breakfast,
Hmm.
lunch, evening snacks and milk,
Hmm.
the entire medical expenses, the
Hmm.
mental health support that we provide,
Hmm.
uniforms, books, pen, pencil, stationery, every little thing that a parent provide to their children is provided by Crystal House and completely free of cost. All
Hmm.
that the parents need to take care in their lifetime is the night stay and, if possible, dinner. Even if they don't get dinner, it's fine because the school takes care of much of the nutrition requirement while they're in school, like breakfast, lunch, and evening snacks. Pretty good.
Hmm.
Many of them do not get dinner. That's fine, but they're pretty good in pretty good shape. So night stay and dinner, that's all the parent need to take care. Rest everything is provided by Crystal House. So
Hmm.
we need a lot of financial help from people who really wanting to make a societal change. They can either go online on our website. There is a online bank payment, or they send a check in the name of Crystal House India. We don't accept cash at all. Uh,
Hmm.
all our transactions are 100%. Both our donations, what we receive, also what payments, what we make, all 100% through bank transactions.
Hmm. Hmm. Amazing. That's amazing, and that's beautiful work you guys are doing. And I wish you all the best for the all the other communities and the schools that are coming up. And definitely I would love to, volunteer someday and come to the school, meet the students, and maybe whatever value I can provide to them, definitely that would be my pleasure.
Absolutely. And Anjali, which city are you in? In Mumbai?
Mumbai.
Right. So we are soon, hopefully, in Mumbai. So I would be, glad to meet with you as well and to kind of take you through in much more in detail. See, 1 hour is not enough for me to explain what
Right.
all. So most happy to be meeting with you and then explaining what we do in detail when I'm in Mumbai next for sure. If you are available, and
Definitely,
when
definitely
you
most
visit
happy.
Bangalore, when you visit Bangalore, please come and see us.
Definitely, I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much, Jason, for this amazing conversation. And I think this is what we need right now. And as what we discussed towards the end, that everyone should contribute, be it in terms of value or if they can do financially, definitely we all should be a part of it. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Billy, thank you so much. We really appreciate this opportunity, and it's such a pleasure speaking with you.
Same here.
Thank you. Have a good day.